Associate Professor of Political Science at McGill University. Great to have you here with us on TRT World. So is this a sign that Ukraine and Russia are moving towards some sort of reconciliation?
No, it really isn't. These exchanges have taken place numerous times since the invasion in 22 started. They've had over 50 of those exchanges. So the channels of communication are open, but this latest exchange does not signal any progress.
So what do you think the future holds for Russia's war in Ukraine? I mean, certainly a lot of major developments have taken place over the past few weeks. There have been attacks in Ukraine, including one on a hospital where children were killed. So do you think the international community is doing enough?
The international community is doing some, but clearly has not equipped Ukraine to try to withstand and to push Russia completely out of its territory. So the help has been there, but it's not sufficient. Ukraine has managed to push Russia back. About 50% of the territory that Russia took in 2022 has been regained, but that's about it. We've seen that the lines are more or less stable and frozen, and not much progress is to be expected.
Right, and I think we also have to talk about the United States here because it's one of the biggest supporters of Ukraine. And given the fact that elections are coming up in the U.S. in November, of course, Ukraine is a part of discussion when it comes to U.S. political discourse these days. I want to pick your brain on the Republican candidate, Donald Trump, and his vice presidential candidate, J.D. Vance. Now, I watched some of his interviews, J.D. Vance, because he's going to speak to the convention in a few moments from now. So he basically does not support supporting Ukraine. He does not support the U.S. supporting Ukraine. So what do you think a possible Trump presidency, if he is re-elected, what do you think that would mean for Russia's war in Ukraine?
So both Trump and J.D. Vance have been very clear that they basically plan to throw Ukraine under the bus. Their idea of resolution in this war is basically to meet Russia's demands, deliver Ukraine on a silver platter. That is the message that is so far coming from both Trump and his chosen VP. Now, the question is, can they really do that? I think people forget that Ukraine did manage to stay in this war and continue resisting, even though US aid was blocked for very long months. Europe may be able to step up its support if the US pulls its support. So there's a lot of uncertainty in the run-up to the election. But I don't think people should think of a Trump win as some sort of game over for Ukraine. There's a lot of other options on the table.
Professor, I mean, this has been going on for more than 2 years now, and certainly when you look at the bigger picture, it seems to me that there is no resolution inside because attacks have been happening almost every other day, and civilians are being killed. So my question is, for how much longer do you think Ukraine can continue to resist? Because Western support, U.S. support, is not where Ukrainians would have wanted it to be.
I think we should also be asking for how long Russia can maintain this, because that is also a valid question. For example, very recently this week, Russia has withdrawn its last vessel from Crimea. Basically, Ukraine has won this battle for control of the waters around Crimea. So I think we cannot take for granted neither that Ukraine can resist forever, but not also that Russia can keep this up forever. Russia has lost a lot of men and military equipment in these 2 years, and it's not transparent enough so that we would have a really good sense of how long they can last, but they also cannot last forever.
Professor Maria Popova, thanks very much for talking to us here on TRT World. I really appreciate your taking out the time.